At first, it sounds like a joke. One man, 30 days, 720 eggs. One every hour, every single day. It's the kind of absurd idea that spreads online like wildfire. Viral, punchy, ridiculous. But behind the shell of this stunt was something much more serious. A hypothesis that could challenge decades of nutritional advice. This wasn't a dare. It was a question. And it began with an assumption most of us carry quietly, that eating cholesterol raises your cholesterol. He set out to test that idea, publicly, unflinchingly. And the results? They might just scramble your understanding of nutrition. The man behind the eggs isn't just a fitness influencer chasing clicks. He's a data-driven thinker, a self-experimenter, someone who understands that sometimes to challenge a paradigm, you have to do something dramatic. So he did. 2 dozen eggs a day, each one tracked, logged, measured, 30 days. No cheating, no shortcuts. He made room for sleep, of course. 1 egg per hour was an average meant to simplify the message. But the commitment was real. And so was the math. 720 eggs equals 133,000 milligrams of dietary cholesterol. That's more than most people consume in 6 months. He expected skepticism. He welcomed it. That was the point. Because he wasn't doing this to prove that eggs are a superfood or to push a new diet. He was trying to expose a fundamental truth. Context matters more than content. For decades, public health guidelines warned people to limit cholesterol intake. Eggs, butter, red meat. The logic was simple. If high blood cholesterol is bad, and food contains cholesterol, then eating cholesterol must be bad. But science, as it turns out, is rarely that simple. In recent years, research has shown that dietary cholesterol has minimal impact on blood cholesterol levels in most people. So why doesn't it spike? Because the human body is smarter than we think. When you eat more cholesterol, your gut sends a signal to your liver through a beautifully balanced feedback loop. A hormone called cholecystokinin gets released. It binds to receptors in the liver, GPR 146 to be specific, and the liver responds by producing less cholesterol. Homeostasis, balance. The system regulates itself, quietly, effectively. For most people, eating eggs doesn't break the system. It just activates it. 2 weeks in, the first blood test came in. LDL cholesterol, down by 2%. No spike, no danger. But then came a twist. In week 3, he reintroduced carbohydrates to 60 grams per day, mainly from fruit, blueberries, bananas, strawberries, even frozen cherries, dipped in macadamia butter. The result? By the end of the month, his LDL had dropped an additional 18%. Let that sink in. Despite consuming 75 g of saturated fat per day, 5,000 milligrams of cholesterol daily, 720 eggs over the course of the experiment, his LDL went down. Not up, down. Why? The key lies in a rare but growingly recognized metabolic phenotype, the lean mass hyperresponder. These are individuals, typically lean, athletic, insulin sensitive, who see dramatic LDL increases when they go very low carb. It's not a malfunction. It's a signal. Their bodies adapt to a fat-based energy system by moving more lipids around, including LDL cholesterol. But it's part of a triad. High LDL, high HDL, low triglycerides. This combination isn't necessarily harmful. In fact, it may reflect a high-functioning metabolic state. But when carbs are added back, even a modest amount, it reduces the need for systemic lipid traffic. The LDL levels drop. And that's exactly what happened here. The takeaway? Carbohydrates, not dietary cholesterol, had the biggest impact on his blood cholesterol. So why did this video blow up? Why did hundreds of thousands of people click, comment, and share? Because we're drawn to extremes. We're wired for curiosity. And maybe we're starving for truth in a world full of diet noise. The man behind the eggs knew this. He calls it legit bait, a way to use spectacle to deliver substance, a viral wrapper for scientific insight. This wasn't just about 720 eggs. It was about challenging lazy assumptions. It was about packaging real knowledge in a way that people would actually hear it. Now, should you go eat 720 eggs? Probably not. This wasn't a recommendation. It was a demonstration. But it does raise deeper questions. Why do we still fear cholesterol when the science doesn't support it? Why are nutrition guidelines so slow to adapt? And how much of what we know about food is just outdated marketing? This experiment cracked more than eggs. It cracked open a conversation. So now it's your turn. Why did you click on this video? Was it the shock factor? Was it the science? Was it the title, the thumbnail, the absurdity? And does that say more about you or about how information spreads in the modern world? This video isn't just a cholesterol test. It's a social mirror, a look at what grabs our attention and what we choose to learn from it. So the next time you hear a nutrition claim that feels like gospel, ask yourself, is it fact? Or is it just something we've repeated so many times it feels true? 720 eggs, zero cholesterol spike, one powerful message. Food is more than numbers. Nutrition is more than fear. And science deserves a second look. So the next time someone tells you eggs are bad for you, ask them, are you sure? Or are you just repeating the shell of an idea? Think critically, eat mindfully, and never stop questioning a carton. Drop a comment. What part surprised you most? Subscribe for more breakdowns that go beyond the surface and get to the yolk of it. Because here, we don't just crack eggs, we crack open truth.